Hello, hockey fans. Austin here with the series preview for the Western Conference Final between your Edmonton Oilers and the Dallas Stars. This is the second consecutive season that the Oilers and Stars are meeting in the conference finals out west, and Edmonton is once again the only remaining Canadian team left in the postseason. Dallas took out Winnipeg in 6 games, and of course, the other night, Florida defeated Toronto 6-1 in Game 7, and I'm really sorry, Leafs fans. That is a horrible way to go. But we're not going to talk about those series. Today is all about Edmonton and Dallas. In today's series preview, I'm going to be going over the projected lineup for your Edmonton Oilers. I'll be going over all of the key stats between both teams up to this point in the playoffs, including the advanced analytics, because I am a big numbers guy and I do like taking a look at the underlying metrics. Some of the underlying metrics is going to surprise you, actually, so stick around for that. I also want to talk about the keys to the series. I have 3 keys for each team that will help them be successful against each other. I will have the players to watch throughout the entire series, and of course, the series prediction at the very end. I will predict who I think will win and in how many games, but I also want to hear from all of you. Make sure you let me know all of your series thoughts in the comment section below, because I think we're going to have a very fun, and I actually think we're going to have a pretty high-scoring conference finals this year. I just have one of those feelings that it's going to be one of those bonkers high-scoring series. Now, neither team, is... I would say both teams are responsible defensively. Both teams can put the puck in the net. The big X factor, I think, for both teams is going to come down to goaltending. Can Jake Oettinger continue to play at a .919 save percentage? Can Stuart Skinner, keep building that momentum? He finished the series against Vegas with 2 consecutive shutouts. Of course, we don't expect shutouts every single night from Stu. All we're looking for is a .900 save percentage or better. And last season in the conference final, Stu Skinner had an under 2 goals against average in the whole series and a .922 save percentage. So can he outduel Jake Oettinger? Once again, it is going to be an absolutely terrific series. I cannot wait. If you enjoyed today's video, hit that like button. And if you really like it, make sure to subscribe to the channel, as I will also be doing live streams for every single game in this series. And as long as the Oilers remain in, we will be doing live streams and daily content here on the channel. And I can't thank you all enough for your support. Without further ado, let's get into the projected lineups for Game 1 for your Edmonton Oilers. Now, this was at practice or morning skate this morning as of May 19th, 2025. By the way, I hope you've all had a wonderful long weekend. I took a couple days off this weekend just to, kind of keep the brain refreshed and also enjoy my weekend, as the Oilers have had a ton of days off and they do not play until Thursday. So top line for Edmonton, you have Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with Connor McDavid and Zach Hyman. This line has been reunited. They played the bulk of the regular season together. They do produce, maybe not at the rate that they used to, not like last year or the year before, but there's a lot of familiarity with this line specifically. Zach Hyman leads the Oilers in hits this playoff season. He has been an absolute wrecking ball. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has been very responsible with his two-way play and can produce on the power play for the team. And Connor McDavid, he's Connor McDavid. He does something magical every single night. And it's funny that, a lot of fans, not just Oilers fans, but, fans around the league, there's been a lot of talk that McDavid has kind of had a slow or non-typical playoff year for his standards. And it's funny because McDavid still has 17 points in 11 games played, which is a 1.5 points per game clip, which is right near his career average for his playoff production. Connor McDavid continues to excel. He continues to get himself on the score sheet, whether it's through an assist or a big play in a big moment. And Connor McDavid, though, I think you definitely want a couple more goals from him. So look for him to be shooting the puck a little bit more in this series. Zach Hyman only has 3 goals in the playoffs. Look for him to try and crash the blue paint. Look for him to try and get some tips in front. And if the Oilers get any power plays, I would imagine they may stick him back on power play unit 1 over Corey Perry, but we will have to see. Now, the second line for Edmonton, this is an interesting one. You have Podkolzin with Draisaitl and Kasperi Kapanen. This line was put together in Game 4 against the Vegas Golden Knights, and their job specifically was to be a checking line against Jack Eichel's line for the Golden Knights. Shut Eichel down, and then if you end up being a plus on the night, that's just a bonus if your line can be on the ice for a goal for. Now, this is a very effective checking line. Leon Draisaitl does not get enough credit for how good his two-way play has been this this season specifically, I mean, I think he's been a decent two-way player in his career, but the last couple of seasons, Draisaitl has been really committed to that two-way play, all three zones of the ice. Wherever the puck is, he makes sure that he is in the right spot so that he is not giving up anything easy. He's making life miserable for forwards on the opposing teams with his back check and his combination of size and skill. He can also take over a shift and, put a puck in the net or feed someone else for a goal. This is going to be an interesting line for Edmonton. How they decide to utilize this line, who they're going to match them up against. This line, look for Chris Knoblauch to likely, I imagine he's going to try and pit this line specifically against the Mikko Rantanen line for the Dallas Stars. The Rantanen line has been the line that has been doing all the damage for Dallas. Now, they still have good depth, but it has been Rantanen's line that really is producing the most for the Dallas Stars. That's the line that this line for the Oilers, Pods, Dry, and Cap are looking to shut down. I imagine that is Edmonton's shutdown line, especially on home ice. I know Dallas has home ice for the first two games, so it's going to be a little bit tougher to get that line matchup if you're Chris Knoblauch. But when the Oilers come back home for game 3, which is a matinee game on Sunday, wow, the thanks NHL. That's so cool. Love that. Look for that line for Edmonton to really, really play the defensive hard matchup against Rantanen. On the third line for Edmonton, you have Evander Kane, Adam Henrique, and Connor Brown. Now, Evander Kane has 4 goals in the postseason, 7 points in 10 games. He has been phenomenal, and it's not just the offensive production from Evander Kane that we're enjoying right now as Oilers fans. It's his physicality. It's his ability to forecheck. His skating has looked good, probably the best I've seen him as an Oiler. And his two-way play has also been good. Evander Kane has never been known to be a guy that is hard on the back check, gets in, along the boards and, plays good defense. But Evander Kane has been committed. Whatever Chris Knoblauch has done, whatever he has said to Evander Kane, whatever is going on with him, Chris Knoblauch has got Evander Kane to buy in to the system, and Evander Kane has been effective. The fact that we have Evander Kane, who is a prolific goal scorer in the NHL, he is a lock for 20, 25, sometimes 30 plus every single season that he's healthy. The fact that Edmonton has him on the third line in their playoff formation, that shows how much depth Edmonton has right now, and that is a very difficult player to stop because he is healthy and he looks good. He's next to Adam Henrique, who has a couple goals in the playoffs, and Connor Brown, who has just been unbelievable all playoffs long for Edmonton. This could be an X-factor line for the Oilers. This third line can produce. They can check. They can play defense. Whatever you need that third line to do for Edmonton, I like that line going up against pretty much anyone, and I think most fans would agree with that. Of course, Adam Henrique, his skating is not what it used to be, but he has the hockey smarts. He knows where he's supposed to be on the ice, and he's good at getting in on the forecheck with the rest of the boys. So we'll see if that line can continue their production. And then the fourth line, you have Trent Frederick with Matthias Janmark and Corey Perry. Now, Corey Perry, the ageless wonder, has 5 goals in the postseason. He's been absolutely unbelievable. You cannot ask for much more from him. He is now 40 years old. It was his birthday a few days ago, along with Jeff Skinner. So happy birthday to both of those players, or I should say belated birthday. But Corey Perry, he's on a mission, right? He has lost the last 4 trips that he's made it to the Stanley Cup Final, he has lost. And he is trying to make it his mission to get back to the Stanley Cup Final. He knows his career is basically at the very end. He wants to go out on top, and he is doing everything that he can to help this team all season long, whether he plays 7 minutes a night or 15 minutes a night, whether he gets power play time or not. He has never complained. He is a leader on that bench. He is good at talking with his group, settling guys down. Corey Perry is one of those players. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He's one of those guys where you can tell the team is also playing for him as well. I know he has a Stanley Cup, right? And I know we all want McDavid and Draisaitl, and I get it. Corey Perry won a cup in 2007. That was how many years ago now? 18 years ago. It's been a long time. For Corey Perry, it's been nothing but heartbreak for him. Let's see if the team and Perry can continue to rally and find a way to make their second consecutive Stanley Cup Final appearance and see what they can do and see what he can do as well. Matthias Janmark has been a great depth piece for the Oilers once again. He already has a couple goals in the postseason, pucks that he has actually shot past a goaltender. He didn't do that all year for Edmonton, but in the playoffs, he has shot 2 pucks past goalies. He didn't end up scoring any goals against Vegas, but he did play a very good two-way game. Trent Frederic, I find, has been getting better and better as the playoffs have gone along. You can tell that high ankle sprain is still bothering him, but I think this extra rest right now, he's only going to get stronger and better as the postseason progresses here. Now, when it comes to the defense for Edmonton, you'll see a name on the board that you're all going to be excited to hear about, but we will get to Ekholm, I promise. First, Kulak with Bouchard. That is likely your top pair for Edmonton. Kulak continues to be amazing. Evan Bouchard probably played his best defensive series of all time in an Oilers uniform against Vegas. When Evan Bouchard was on the ice, Vegas couldn't get anything going on offense. And not only that, Bouchard also produced. He had 5 assists in those in that series for the Oilers. And, you know, for all the flack that Evan Bouchard gets for the defensive style of his game or the defensive play of his game, I think Evan Bouchard doesn't get enough credit sometimes for how good he is and how good he can be in the defensive zone. It's just about finding consistency, right? It's like goaltending. It's like Stu Skinner. We all know that he can be good when he's locked in. We've seen Stuart Skinner be a guy that can take over games. We've seen him have success in the postseason like last year. We just want to see some consistency. Evan Bouchard, we all know how good he is on offense. If he plays like he did against Vegas in this series specifically, Edmonton's chances shoot up astronomically, in my opinion. Next up, you'll have Darnell Nurse with Troy Stecher. Now, Stecher, he did not get into this series until Game 4 against the Golden Knights, and that was actually his first playoff game of the entire postseason. And Troy Stecher, he stepped in, and him and Darnell Nurse, they just work together. Whatever, I don't know what it is. Sometimes certain players just, their play style, their dynamic, certain players just click when they play together. Nurse and Stecher played together a lot in the regular season. Their underlying metrics were strong. I thought that they complemented each other very well. And Stecher stepped into the postseason, and him and Nurse played their best hockey. Darnell Nurse played his best 2 games in Game 5 and Game 4 against the Golden Knights. Look for him and Stecher to continue to eat a decent amount of ice time here, especially Darnell Nurse. We need Nurse to obviously, be a strong contributor on the defensive side, but Nurse, he does have offensive upside too, and his skating is his best asset. Look for Nurse to skate himself out of trouble if he has to, and look for him to get in on the attack a few more times than he usually does for the Oilers. On the third pair, you'll have Jake Wallman with John Klingberg, and John Klingberg was one of my unsung heroes in that series against the Golden Knights. John Klingberg has done so much more than I could have ever imagined for this team in the postseason. Can he continue that? I really hope so. And Jake Wallman, he leads the team in plus minus. He has been an absolutely phenomenal two-way defenseman for Edmonton. Just as good, if not better, than I was hoping when they picked him up at the trade deadline. This was a player that I was so excited for. I made a video on him when they picked him up. And there were a few fans, of course, that weren't quite sure, is it worth the first rounder for Wallman? And blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, this team has a shot at, going back to the Stanley Cup Final, and that's all that matters. Sometimes the cost, you have to eat it. Jake Wallman has more than made up for the cost that the team sent the San Jose Sharks. They essentially have a top pairing capable D-man on their third pair right now. And that's in the absence of Mattias Ekholm, which we're talking about now. Mattias Ekholm has been on the ice. He's been skating. He was with this group this morning doing their line rotations and, that little practice on the ice. Mattias Ekholm, he probably doesn't play game 1 or 2. He might not even make it for game 3 or 4. He is going to play at some point in this series. Just don't know when that is. But when he comes back, look at the depth for Edmonton's defense. Look at this. Now, if Ekholm comes in, who do you take out? You take out Stecher? You take out Klingberg? You don't take out Kulak, Nurse, or Wallman because those are terrific D-men that you need to keep in there at all times. Or do you go 11-7? You insert Ekholm and then maybe take out someone like Trent Frederic. The Oilers have so many options with the availability of Ekholm in the postseason. Let's hope that this team can go a little bit deeper here and Ekholm can step in and be someone that can be a difference maker because the Oilers, they're a great team and they're even better when Ekholm is available. So That defensive depth for Edmonton might be one of the strongest defensive cores in the entire NHL. I don't think they get enough respect or credit from other fan bases, but look for the Oilers' defense to continue to be very strong in their own zone. And, it's going to be difficult for Dallas to get through. Dallas is a great team. I'm not underestimating Dallas at all. They're a great team, but Edmonton's defensive core, compared to the Stars, in my opinion, I think Edmonton has a huge edge there. And in goal, of course, you have Stuart Skinner, who is going to be the starter in this series. Olivier Rodrigue was in the practice net for, or the backup net for the Oilers, but Calvin Pickard likely will be the backup at some point in this series. He will be available for the team. Not quite sure when, but right now it is Stu Skinner's crease. All righty. Now, let's get into the numbers, the normal stats and some advanced stats that I want to talk about that I think are going to be important and paint a pretty, interesting picture of where these two teams are. Now, Dallas, their record is 8-5. Their power play is terrific. They rank third in the playoffs at 30.8%, and their penalty kill also phenomenal, 86%, which also ranks third in the postseason. Now, goals for per game, 2.62, which ranks 11th. They do not score a lot of goals, despite a very strong power play. So that's interesting here. Goals against per game ranks fourth in the playoffs. They give up 2.92 goals against per game. Pretty good. But you'll notice the goals against per game is higher than the goals for per game. Yes, the Dallas Stars have a negative goal differential heading to the conference finals. So keep an eye out on that. Their expected goals for at 5-on-5 ranks 8th at 49.25%. They are a below 50% expected goal for team, according to Evolving Hockey. High danger chances for, they rank 7th, 48.83%. And shots for percentage, that is just shots on goal versus against. They rank 14th, 44.80%. The Dallas Stars are an interesting team. They have high-end talent. They have Mikko Rantanen. They have Rupe Hintz. They have Jason Robertson, Tyler Seguin, Jamie Benn, Wyatt Johnston, Miro Heiskanen. Like, they have incredible high-end talent on this team. But their advanced underlying metrics have not been strong at all. The 5-on-5 goals for percentage for Dallas is 47.62%. They are below 50% at 5-on-5, which means when this team is winning, the Stars that is, it's likely because of the power play. And we know that the Oilers' penalty kill has been awful. In fact, they rank 14th on the on the penalty kill in these playoffs. The Oilers are going to have to get that penalty kill going if they want to have a chance. If you look at the 5-on-5 goals for percentage for Edmonton, 58.82%. The Oilers are a terrific 5-on-5 production team and underlying metrics team. Shots for per 60 at 5-on-5. Dallas averages about 23 shots per 60 minutes on goal. The Oilers average 29 shots on goal per 60 minutes. And shots against per 60, Dallas averages about 29 shots against per 60 minutes. The Oilers average about 23 shots against per 60. So the Dallas Stars at 5-on-5, they are below 50% in their goal share. They are below 50% in their expected goal share. They're below 50% in the high danger share. They're below 50% in the shot share, and they are they're a team that, despite all of that, has made it to the conference final. If I were to look at all these numbers, if someone showed me these numbers without anything else on the screen, if you take the Dallas Stars logo out, what their team record was, if you take literally everything else out of the equation, and someone showed me these numbers and they're like, where do you think this team is in the playoffs right now? I would have probably said, they got eliminated in the first round. That's just how I'm interpreting the numbers right now. The Dallas Stars, and again, I don't want to sit here and sound like I'm being overconfident, right? Like, 7-game series, anything can happen. Anything can happen in a 7-game series. That is a pretty small sample size. But I think the 13-game sample that Dallas has right now at this point shows a picture here that they are not strong at 5-on-5 play. They're not controlling the play. And if the Oilers are going to come out on top, they can expose the Dallas Stars. But the X factor is going to come down to goaltending, in my opinion. Jake Ottinger, if he's locked in, like we saw that one save against the Winnipeg Jets the other night where he looked like Curtis Joseph from 1997, the way he came across his crease to stop that one-timer from going in the open net. But I added extra stats on the screen because I just want to show that Edmonton is a pretty strong team at 5-on-5. Their special teams are not strong. Dallas is a strong special teams, but not a strong 5-on-5 team. Now, taking a look at the Oilers stats here, their power play ranks 6th, 25%. That's pretty okay, although I think we all agree that the power play needs to really get going here. Penalty kill, I already mentioned, it ranks 14th. Terrible penalty kill for the Oilers, but they did much better in games 4 and 5 against Vegas. They're going to have to keep building that penalty kill because Dallas will make you pay. They have too much high-end talent on that power play for the Stars. They're going to make you pay. Goals per game, the Oilers rank number 1 to 3.91 goals per game. Goals against per game, the Oilers rank 9th, 3.09. Expected goals for percentage ranks number 1 at 5-on-5. High danger chances for ranks number 1 at 5-on-5. And shots for percentage ranks 3rd at 5-on-5. And that's among, all playoff teams, right? Even the teams that have been eliminated. The Oilers are a strong 5-on-5 team. The Dallas Stars are a strong special teams team, if that makes sense with the way I worded that. And obviously the edge in goaltending does go to the Stars. I give the edge in depth to Edmonton. But let's take a look at the keys to the game and then see what my series prediction overall is for the Oilers and Stars. There is a Golden Knights logo on the screen. That should be a Dallas Stars logo. The Oilers have already gotten past Vegas, so we'll put a Dallas Stars logo up there just for everyone to look at. Keys to the series for the Oilers. There are 3 keys to winning this series. Number 1, special teams. If they want to have a chance at defeating the Dallas Stars, their power play has to start clicking, and their penalty kill more specifically has to lock in. They have to lock in. They have to have a 90% or better penalty kill in this series if they are going to come out on top, in my personal opinion. Number 2 is goaltending. We know how good Jake Oettinger is. We know how much he can steal, not only a game. Jake Oettinger can also steal a series when he is locked in. Last year, the Oilers goaltending, Stu Skinner specifically, out-dueled Jake Oettinger. Can he do it again? It's a tough ask for a goalie like Skinner, who's pretty inconsistent. We'll have to find out. And the number 3, the depth. If the Oilers continue to get the depth production that we've seen from them, they have a ton of goal scoring up and down this lineup. McDavid only has 3 goals, so he's due to explode. Draisaitl has 5 goals, which is tied with Corey Perry for the team lead. The depth on Edmonton has been really helpful. And we know their 2 best players, McDavid and Draisaitl, are eventually going to explode for offense. If it takes them a little bit in this series, if it takes until they get home, then you need the depth scoring. You're going to need lines 2, 3, and 4 to produce. You're going to need your defensemen to also step up. If Edmonton can continue to get strong depth, that like the way they have, I like Edmonton's chances here. Now for Dallas, what are their 3 keys to coming out on top? Number 1, they have to improve their 5-on-5 production. I'm not talking about actual goals, actual shots. I'm talking about the underlying metrics. They are not controlling the play enough at 5-on-5 to go on a long run. They need to improve it right now. They need to improve 5-on-5. They need to get that expected goal share up. They need to get the actual goal share up. Their shot share is not good. They have to increase that. Right now, Dallas is relying on 2 players. They are relying on Roope Hintz and Mikko Rantanen. Without those 2 on the ice, the Dallas Stars are getting absolutely caved. They need depth production. They need 5-on-5 production from more than just those 2 players. Number 2 for Dallas, attack off the rush. This Dallas Stars team is fast. They can skate. They will skate you to death. And if the Oilers are not prepared, especially in the neutral zone, they're going to attack you off the rush. They're going to catch you flat-footed. And we all know how horrible the Oilers are at defending the rush. They're still the worst team at defending the rush in the entire NHL. If Dallas can get attacks off the rush consistently and stretch out the Oilers' defense in the neutral zone, they're going to have a ton of success in this series. And number 3 for Dallas, home ice advantage. They have their first 2 games at home. If the Oilers manage to split, or on the off chance like they do against Vegas and steal both games from the Stars, Dallas is in trouble. Dallas needs to take advantage of home ice because the Oilers in their own barn at Rogers Place are nuclear. The Edmonton Oilers make life miserable to play in Rogers Place. Dallas has to take advantage of home ice. They have to win both games. or games 1 and 2, I should say, if they're going to win this series, in my personal opinion. Now, my players to watch. These are the two X factors in this series. Stu Skinner for Edmonton, Jake Ottinger for the Dallas Stars. If Stuart Skinner starts to falter, and if we don't know what the health of Calvin Pickard is, this series could be over pretty darn quickly in favor of Dallas. And of course, Jake Ottinger for the Dallas Stars. He was outdueled by Skinner last season. Can Jake Ottinger step up? Can he step back up and play the way he has? If Ottinger is putting up a .919 save percentage throughout this whole series, Dallas likely comes out on top. And finally, the series prediction. Who am I predicting and in how many games? Well, if I just take a look at these 5-on-5 numbers, listen, Stars fans, I promise you right now, I am not trying to disrespect your team at all. Like, they are a good team. They are here for a reason. You don't just luck your way to a conference final berth. But I do think that the way Dallas is playing is unsustainable. I think the way the Oilers are playing has been more consistent, more sustainable. They have more depth. The big thing, of course, is in net. But I am going to go with the Edmonton Oilers in 6 games. That is my series prediction. We will leave it at that. The Oilers in 6 is my prediction. So please let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know who you think comes out on top in this series and in how many games. Let me know if you agree with the advanced metrics and the normal metrics. Of course, again, like I mentioned, 7-game series, 7-game sample size. The momentum shifts, the highs and lows, right? It's tough to predict. But I'm going to go Oilers in 6. This is not an overconfident prediction, but this is a prediction that is mostly based on the numbers. I do think Dallas is due for some regression here, and I do think the Oilers' special teams, especially the penalty kill, is due for positive regression. So we'll see if that can offset the 5-on-5 play as well, and offset Dallas's power play too. We'll see how this series plays out. I think it's going to be a fun series. I think there's going to be a lot of goals, and I cannot wait. The series starts on Wednesday. I think earlier in the video I said it starts Thursday. Starts Wednesday, 6 p.m. local time here in Alberta. I will have a pregame report up on Wednesday morning. And then, of course, Wednesday night, we will be here. We will be here for the live streams. I cannot wait. It's going to be so much fun. Thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, your support means the world. We'll see you soon, Oil Country. Tell someone that you love them. And as always, fight like a kid. Fight like Ben. Let's go, Oilers. We'll see you soon.